process comes, I'll be back. Alright, so for this part, when it comes to dyeing the hair, I'm going to separate the hair into 3 parts. So I'm going to have a middle part, and this is where I'm going to add the red hot and the magneto red. So this way, once I unravel the hair, because right now it is still raveled, once I unraveled the hair, it will have all the highlights and lowlights done for me without me having to actually go back into the hair and add in highlights where I wanted to. It would add it, and it would look a little bit more natural this way as well, because I basically just did it in this part. So this is a tip that you can definitely use when you want to highlight your hair. You can do it for blonde hair, any color. This is an easy way to highlight and lowlight your hair because it literally does it for you. So on the other end here and the other side, that's where I'm going to add my intense red, which is my darker color, and this is the color that's going to make me achieve that red, like the burgundy wine color that I'm going for. Now, once I'm finished adding the colors onto each side and the middle, I'm going to go back in with that magenta and red hot color so that I can add a little bit more on the outer end so that it blends in with the intense red. Like I said, I really don't know how this color is going to come out once it's unraveled. I have done it before, but you never know. There may be times when like there will be little strands like not colored, or it may just be harsher than others. So I would like to take a little bit of the intense red and the magenta and blend the hair together on both sides so that way it blends in seamlessly and it looks seamless once it's finished dyed. Now, a tip for me to give to you guys is on the packaging, it says to leave this on your hair for about 30 minutes if it's virgin hair. Do not listen to the packaging. Leave it on the hair for about at least an hour or like an hour and a half. I had one bundle that was like the last bundle that I did before I started to dye my frontal, and I guess I didn't leave it on for long enough and the color barely took. It was just a hint of red, so I had to do it all over. So leave it on for at least an hour and a half if you really want the color to really intensifyly take it. And then another thing is that's why I believe that I did not add in enough developer, because I felt like if I added enough developer, it would take the hair much quicker and it would be more sufficient. Now, every packaging says for every packaging you're supposed to add in 2.0 fluid ounces. So if I have 2 packages in each bowl, I should have added in 4.0 fluid ounces, and I know for sure I did not add 4.0 fluid ounces. So do not make the mistake that I did. If you want your hair to be a little bit brighter than mine, then make sure you add in the correct amount of fluid ounces. And that's the reason why I feel like I want my hair to be a little bit lighter. So I may go in after with like some Adore dye or something and just add that on top to make it brighter, but I'm not going to go in with like peroxide and everything again. I'm not doing it. So yeah, learn from me, don't be me. Alright guys, I'm just repeating these same steps throughout every single bundle that I have. I just added the intense reds together so that it'll be easier for me to apply and then add the red hot. And then after this, I'm going to just show you guys how I do the frontal process. I didn't want this video to be too long, so I didn't show me dyeing like all 4 bundles. But hopefully you guys get the point, okay? So when it comes to the frontal, I like to use the Colado Color Blue bleach because this deflects all like orange or brassy colors, and we don't want any brassy roots because frontals don't have brassy roots and it doesn't look cute. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is add in my 30 volume developer, and I want to make sure that it is the right mixture. You want this mixture to be sort of like butter. It has to be just as smooth as butter. And a tip that I like to use is put my brush in the actual bowl and see if it can stand up straight. If it can stand up straight and it won't tip over, I know that the mixture is perfectly fine. Now here, I literally am just taking my time adding on the frontal. Now, you can get a little bit weary with this sometimes because it can easily seem like, oh, it's taking too long, and you want to make sure that you're moving at a pace that is fast. However, you still want to take your time so that you don't add in too much pressure onto the frontal and then like all the roots of the hair is like super blonde, because then that's very hard to correct. So you want to take your time, use light pressure, but still don't take too much time because you don't want one side to be like super bleached than the other side. You're able to see it, trust me, you are able to see it, but you just want to take your time and just bleach the frontal. I know that this process can be very tedious, and even I'm not perfect with it. I'm not perfect with frontals at all, okay? I'm just gonna be completely honest here. I'm not perfect with frontals at all. I worked with closures for so many years, and I was so hesitant to try frontals when they first came out because I'm just like, I don't feel like my forehead is big enough, or you know, to actually rock a frontal properly. And I just had to tweak it and learn how it worked for me. And yeah, nobody's perfect with this process. Everybody always has mistakes, even the professionals. I'm sure they have mistakes. You just have to know how to correct it. So just take your time and it will come out fine. So a tip that I can give you guys is that whenever I'm finished applying the bleach onto my lace, what I do is I go back in and apply the, well actually I lay the lace onto aluminum foil, and then I take it off. And as you can see, there's there's bleach left over, and this is the bleach that wasn't actually holding onto the lace, so I guess it didn't penetrate enough to get to the root of the lace. And then after, I just apply more bleach into those areas and just reapply it back onto my aluminum foil. And right now I'm just going through to make sure that there's no areas that the bleach has penetrated and actually touched the hair, and it looks good. So I know that I can leave this on for however long and let it bleach. And I always like to make sure to do that just so that there's like no areas that have like black knots, because that has happened to me before, and whenever I use this technique, it actually works out fine. Now when it comes to dyeing the actual frontal, I didn't know how I was going to actually do it, but what I did was I parted rows throughout the frontal, and for each row I pulled out some parts that I would like to have the intense red. So here I'm adding the intense red, and yeah, for this row here, I'm adding the intense red, and I'm just making sure that everything is like fully penetrated to the front and the back of the hair. All the strands of the hair are fully covered with dye. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to bring in the other pieces. Well, I'm going to lay down aluminum foil and bring down the final pieces, and that's where I'm going to add the Magneta and Red Hot colors. And I'm going to just continue doing this process all throughout the frontal until we're done. All right guys, so this is how the hair came out after the whole process. And yes, this is a two-part video. I will be showing you guys how the hair how I install and make my frontal unit. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video as well, and keep an eye out for part 2. See you soon.